It's the SawCast. Real people speak that real shit on real topics, and I go by the name of Stevo.
And I'm Ariel. What the fuck you do, y'all? Today we
Bang,
talking
bang.
about we got our new we got our old school where we talk about our the current topics, current events,
some
you know
little
what I'm saying?
relevant stuff. Put some change on your brain. You know
We
what I'm
ain't
talking about?
did a sawcast with just me and Steven in a minute.
Few little
And
pet
honestly, them was the
Sawcasts.
one that slapped.
How you what with their numbers.
It did. It did.
And if
Shout
y'all
out.
don't know about how you what, go check it out.
Go watch How You Would.
And then y'all can see how you what, because y'all don't know what we talking about yet. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm
Tap
saying?
in.
But yeah, so how many topics we got? Like 9 topics. We're going to try to go through them, you know what I'm saying? Just so we want everybody to have their own conversations about what's going on and like really just, you know what I'm saying, chop it up with the people around you. So even chopping up in the comments, we love how y'all been in our comments and under all of our posts and just talking to each other and like getting out how you feel. That is the reason why we do our podcast, and you know this is what we want y'all to do with this one too. Let's get it.
Absolutely. Let's go.
Okay, you ready, Steve-O?
Absolutely.
Number one, the first topic is Indiana University. So Indiana University, they won the championship and they were undefeated for the whole year. And they got to the end and they won the championship for, you know what I'm saying? You know, this is a big deal to me because that's my school. And I've been telling everybody across the world, everywhere I go, that this is the best school in the United States. And we showed y'all. We showed everybody that. And we're obviously the best school. There's no denying it. Nobody's ever went undefeated. Nobody's ever went undefeated and then won the championship.
You talking for IU?
Yeah.
Yeah, not for IU.
So,
might be once in a lifetime for that program.
I don't like the way you're saying that, but I'm going to let you slide because it is college, you know what I'm saying? That's something big. So, I really, really was so happy about this. That was the best college football game that I ever seen in my life. That was the best. That was the best like work that I've ever seen a quarterback do in college. Like he was playing like he was in the NFL. It was just an overall great season, overall great championship game. Like the playoffs, everything was just great. So I think it was amazing, and I'm so glad to be a part of the IU alumni family. And I'm so proud of us. I'm not gonna lie.
So me, I went to Indiana State, so it was a little different for me. I was still rooting for the home team, right? Because it's Indiana, right? So at the end of the day, the bigger picture is Indiana. So the reason why I could relate is because when I was in high school, we did the same thing. We went undefeated with my senior squad, and along the route of getting there, people were not just like with IU. They were like, "Oh, it's because they going against that team, or it's because the competition that they facing." And then once we got into the playoffs, and then we was beating all them teams that everybody thought were the great teams, and then we won the championship, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah!" But up until I would say they went undefeated, but their last 4 games was when everybody started really like, "Oh, they might be legit for real." You feel what I'm saying? Even me.
It was when we beat Ohio State.
Facts. But Ohio State, you hear me? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
So Warren Central, if y'all don't know, is a powerhouse in Indiana football. So once Lawrence Central beat Warren Central, then everybody started believing. And that's the same thing with IU. Once they beat Ohio State, which is, a powerhouse in college football, everybody was like, "Oh yeah, y'all legit now." So it took for us to beat one of the big dogs, just like it took them to beat one of the most notable big dog teams for that to actually be something. So shout out to IU, man. I can relate a little bit. Like I said, and the reason why I say it probably won't happen again because it's so hard to do, especially in college. That's even harder to do. And then even in high school, yeah, it's hard to do. But if you got a bunch of gentlemen and you got talent and things like that, then you can make it happen. But in college, everything has to hit on all cylinders. All of your best players have to be healthy. They all have to be in alignment, and they all have to be with the program, right? And they all have to be playing 110%. And that's what IU did. So shout out to IU. I'm proud of them, man. As an Indiana school, that was amazing. And like you said, that game was tremendous.
Oh my God, that game was like.
Hey, you know what I said? I said once he started running, because he runs a little funny. So I said Bambi. He reminds me of Bambi when he runs. So I said once he get to running, he in his bag. what did he do? He ran, and
was
then
so
he ran
good.
for the last touchdown and made an amazing.
Did we
He
get
got
an
hit,
interception?
and bro, it was
like
at the end of the game with the interception.
It was like an NFL game.
And he was from Miami. The guy who got the interception was from Miami. It was just perfect.
This game was just like, oh,
it was amazing. Yeah. Shout out to IU, man.
Shout out to IU.
Keep doing your thing, man. The coach?
No, the quarterback. The coach and the quarterback.
Yeah, shout out to
Fernando,
the coach and the quarterback.
Is this Fernando?
Yeah, Fernando. I forgot his last name. Mendoza. Fernando. Shout out to little Fernando Mendoza. And he from Miami too. So
we lit.
Shout out to him.
Thank y'all for coming to Indiana and turning us up. I really appreciate y'all. The next topic is, okay, so me and Steven, Eddie Murphy documentary came out a while ago. Probably like a couple months ago now.
Yes.
But we really wanted to make sure that y'all niggas understood who Eddie Murphy is the fuck. Like, if you have not seen the Eddie Murphy documentary, go on Netflix and watch that motherfucker right now. If you black, there's no excuse. You need to be watching Eddie Murphy's documentary because you need to understand how good this nigga is. You need to see how much of a legend he is. This nigga is incredible.
How versatile he is.
He is so fucking talented.
Hey.
That was like one of the best. You know what? I'll say this too, because y'all don't give comedians enough credit. Comedians are amazing orators. That's what they are. You know what I'm saying? But like, I think that just watching the documentary, I've realized that like a comedian's documentary is different from a regular documentary because a comedian's documentary is like they're so good at orating and talking that it's moving so well, and they're very intentional about what they say. Because you know what, comedians, they only got like an hour, you know what I'm saying, to get their message across, a lot of messages actually across to their audience, and for their audience to understand it and receive it quickly, you know what I'm saying? And then they have to get an immediate reaction out of you. So it's like they're very wonderful, great writers. So the fact that the documentary was just moving so good, it's meshed so well, and then all of the comedians in the documentary, I feel like sometimes the documentaries and things in general, and when podcasts, people just be yapping. But like with that documentary, because it was all comedians in the documentary, it was straight. Everything that they said was intentional, and everything they said, none of this stuff was fluff. Everything was there purposely. It was very intentional and purposeful documentary. It was perfect. I feel
like the one key thing that stood out to me is how comedians get their message across through their body of work. You know, some people had to speak on other platforms and they had to come out and say things in a different way. But one way that I always say people tell you is through media, right? Through comedy, through sci-fi, and through like action flicks is where you see a lot of the truth. And they fit in that comedy realm. And the way that they tell their story and the way that he told his story in certain points of life, I would say, the way that he told his story, shows you the impact that he had and what he cared about and what he believed in at that time, because his body of work was a visual and audio of how he felt in that moment about different things. So I think like we had to go back and look at some of his bodies of work and see what he was talking about at that point in time and see what was relevant at that point in time as well, because he was really throwing some stuff out there at different points in times. And some things were a bit controversial, right? When he was saying that when he said that at the was it Grammys? No, Oscars. Mm-hmm. Right? When he said his little saying at the Oscars, and when he said that now he don't have an Oscar because he was speaking on like social justice at the time he was speaking on, but he was not afraid to use his voice on his platform. And I think one thing that we're forgetting about is he been him for a minute.
That man been rich since the 80s.
It's like crazy.
It's not normal rich either. You
know
what I'm saying?
But to like, see see his development, to see
it's
his
like extremely rich since the 80s. Like when people were like Rick James was really like Rick James, and Michael was Michael, and like prime time Michael, prime time Rick James, prime time Marvin Gaye, prime time
Richard Pryor.
Prime time Richard Pryor. this is when Eddie Murphy was rich as fuck. Like, and like to the point where like, so we can understand the concept of how rich he was. He started off the documentary of his courtyard.
Of his courtyard in the middle of his crib.
In the middle of his crib. Like, he get some fresh air in the middle of his crib.
He's hilarious for that.
He's so fucking rich. But one thing I will say that I liked about that documentary and I want to press so hard is how talented he is. He is an excellent writer. These movies that we watching with Eddie Murphy in it, these comedy shows we watching, these songs we listen to, Eddie Murphy wrote all this shit. Like, this is coming from his head, okay? He's writing it. He's like, these movies are coming to pass because of him. Like, the success of the movie, like, I don't think that people understand all the little nuances and the little things and everything that goes into making a movie. On top of him writing it, that's probably why he's so rich, because he wrote all the movies as well. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, you get writers credits and all that stuff for that. So he's writing this shit, and he's an excellent artist. All the SNL shit that he doing, he writing it.
And then I'll tell you,
he is an insane writer, and that's one thing. Before I want to pause real quick, that's one thing I will say about comedians that y'all don't give them credit for. They writing this shit. He write all of that shit.
The ones who write theirs. Okay, so
wait, it's comedians that don't write that shit. I thought that was part of being a comedian. Maybe.
No, not all of them. They don't all write their material. Some people help other people, just like with verses, with rappers. It's similar how they have other people write their verses and stuff like that, but they just the more popular voice. So
well, Eddie write his, y'all.
Yeah. So the 40 years of success, 40 plus years of success is tremendous. And then what I had to say was the thing that stood out, like, I don't think like we really realized how important Donkey was to Shrek. Like, Shrek was one of our favorite movies growing up. And Donkey was like, without Donkey, I don't think it would have, like, the whole Shrek thing, like, Donkey was like, he was like damn near just important as Shrek, for real, because for real. I'm making waffles. Everybody remembered I'm making waffles. You feel what I'm saying? And then I was thinking back, like, damn, that is him doing this motherfucking donkey.
One of my favorite ones was when Fiona turned into an ogre, but nobody knew, but only Donkey had found out. He was like, I mean, you is ugly. But,
for real.
But at least you ain't ugly all the time. Shrek ugly all the time.
Facts.
That's crazy work. Like, he is so funny. Like, even when he was making the noise when they was on their way to far, far away land, he was making noise getting on Shrek nerves. Like,
bro,
he's so important. That? He has a woman and kids. Like,
he threw the family aspect in there as well because he's family oriented. You feel what I'm saying?
The funniest part too is like on Shrek 2 where they get to turn into something else. Because Shrek turns. He got his nose. He gets to turn. Yeah. He's like, I don't want to be no donkey no more, Shrek. Oh, bro. God. Think about this decision before you make it. Like, I don't think I want to go back to being a little donkey. I'm trying to be a stallion.
Oh, God.
Let my nigga stay a stallion.
He was trying to be a stallion.
He didn't want to be a donkey no more. He was so real, but like, yeah, it's like Eddie Murphy is just a different type of person. And like, I feel like he made the documentary so motherfuckers could give him his respect.
For sure. Give him his credit. And just really, he just let it be known. Like, I've been here for 40 plus years and this is my body of work. So it was great. We recommend that. Highly recommend it.
No, I think also too, like, with him not getting an Oscar, the top entertainers in the world have an EGOT, which is they get an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and a Tony. And I think that he has to have a Grammy because all those good songs that he had. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so he might have an Emmy. He need that Oscar. So he can, you know what I'm saying? And I need to go ahead and give my nigga Eddie his Oscar. Okay, so next thing we wanted to talk about, just like briefly, just a fun little topic. Well, we've been hearing black men talk about Klay. So Klay came and got Meg. He picked her up and he was like, oh, babe, I apologize for coming to get you late. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people are saying like men like Klay and Russell are simps and like that's supposedly a bad thing. But do you think that is a bad thing for somebody to be a simp? Do you think that was simpy for him to apologize for coming pick her up? in the way that he acts, in the way that Russell moves, is that simpy? And why would that be an issue for men? Like, why is that a bad thing to simp for your woman?
So, So, what was the first thing? Is it the simp?
Yeah, is it bad being a simp?
Is it bad being a simp? If it's temporary, no.
What do you mean?
I'm saying that like over excessiveness of simping, yes, but every man has been, by definition, has been a simp for the right woman.
Mm-hmm.
And you have moments to where you overly express yourself in a more expressive manner, right? That's not in tune with the masculine. And so that's okay if it's moment here, moment there. But when it's your whole personality of that, then that's when it does become a problem.
Why is it a problem?
Because you should not be operating in your feminine that often.
That's the problem that men are having. Okay.
Yeah, you shouldn't be operating in your feminine that often.
With
right, because as a
being
man,
affectionate for your woman, I don't see no problem with that.
No, it's not a problem being affectionate with your affectionate for your woman.
I think simping is overly affectionate for your woman. Not all the time. It's just overly affectionate, overly doing it.
Yeah.
That's
By
what other
definition,
men not
they
respecting.
say overly doing it, and
because
once you paint a picture of a person and they become in this image of them, then if they do anything to prove that, then you're like, oh, see what I was saying, and so it's a see what I was saying moment for him. So that's why they's getting more backlash and everything like that. Cause it's a see what I was saying. I told you it was him. He's sounding like a motherfucker now. He was only late this much time, and he really. And if I would have been late, it would have been whoop de whoop. It's like, and then I think that we gotta think how was he raised? You know what I'm saying? Is he a mixed kid? Is he just a white kid with that people thought was mixed? You know what I'm saying? Because depending on his environment, he might have seen that in his life, right? Um, he could have been raised by a single mom. I don't know too much about Klay, but I know that he definitely was raised in probably more like preppy environments. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
More classy environments, more upper middle class to um upper class type of environment. So it's different, and a lot of people I see that's commenting on this are probably people who were not raised the same way he was raised, right? So the vast majority might not be raised like that. So of course it's gonna be like, what the hell is going on? Because most of us not raised like that. Most of us are raised from blue collar people, and if he raised from like white collar people that did things in more of a feminine and expressive way, then he's gonna be like that. It's gonna be him.
Yeah, I definitely don't feel like simping is like an issue because being affectionate for your woman is not a bad thing. I don't see why that would be a bad thing. My thing is I don't understand why niggas is putting Russell and Klay in any categories to where they are. You are nowhere near Klay and Russell. These niggas are the top 1% of earners in the world. Okay, and then when Sierra got with Russell and Klay's with Meg, these are men with no kids, top 1% of the world. Okay, when they got with them. Y'all are nothing like them. So I need y'all to quit comparing yourselves to them. Also, like Steven said, I feel like both of those guys were raised by level-headed, probably emotionally secure families. So they're okay with expressing their emotions, unlike some other people. I mean, I don't really hear y'all talking shit about Tom Brady. He be kissing his kids in the mouth, all type of weird shit. He be kissing them in their mouth. Their kids, his daughters, his sons, all them niggas be getting kissed in the mouth. Y'all be saying nothing about Tom Brady. So I'm confused at why. And that's not what Klay or Russell do. They don't kiss like Russell don't be kissing his kids in the mouth and weird, all that weird ass shit. But y'all be saying nothing about that. But that's weird, you know what I'm saying? It's like y'all pick and choose what the fuck y'all give a fuck about. So I mean, honestly, I feel like there's no issue with simping. Then I also have gay male friends who say that simps are actually straight. The rest of these niggas don't even be straight. I fuck with so many like different niggas, and the niggas that I like is real masculine and real tough guy, you know what I'm saying, macho dudes, and they be sipping like a motherfucker. But maybe it's because they don't simp on camera. Like I know what type of men that I got, type of men that I like, and I'm not gonna put them out there while they at their most simpiest. You know what I'm saying? But them niggas be simping too. And every nigga that I've ever seen that have talked to my friends, everything, they be sipping as well. But we just don't put y'all on camera. So maybe that's why y'all think simp is not a thing. But if you really fuck with somebody, then you're gonna simp. You know what I'm saying?
And if not, then he might be questionable.
Even if you like the strongest woman in the world, and then to some women, when you do certain things for men, they be like, oh nah, she doing too much. You know what I'm saying? Every woman gonna get submissive or super super duper submissive for a certain type of dude. He might not put it on camera, so you don't see what she doing. Like I know, like Scrappy on Love and Hip Hop be having his woman rub his feet and do weird shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, some women be feeling some type of way, like rub your feet. Oh my God, you know what I'm saying? I ain't no bitch that rub feet, but I'm saying that's a that's like not sympathy. That's a super submissive act for a woman, for him. You know what I'm saying? So thinking that women not doing that for the men they dating and stuff like that, they are. People are doing things. I think it's just that y'all's problem is it's on camera. And I think that makes you more masculine as a man if you able to apologize and be like, oh, babe, I'm sorry on camera and still feel like I'm masculine. He's still Klay Thompson.
I think it
like,
was.
Are you serious? He's still a Splash brother. He still has billions of dollars.
I think it was he did it. But
y'all be liking Future. The nigga,
the way he did it.
Future, the nigga who got 7 kids by 5 different bitches. Over nigga like and probably net worth. That means everything that he's worth is $50 million versus Klay, who motherfucking don't got no kids or nothing, and he makes $32 million a year. You know, his net worth is not $50 million if you make $32 million a year. You know what I'm saying? And y'all like, oh, that's good. That's what's good. That's better over Klay. Have y'all lost your mind? Like, no. Let's get it right. One is better than the other, and the other way, that's not the way. You know what I'm saying? But then again, I think me and you had a conversation where also like what black men and black women think each other like is not right either.
Right.
So,
yeah. That's a different thing too.
You know what I'm saying? Y'all be men be putting Future up there because they probably think that's what women like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And they think that they don't like men like Klay because they might have been a man like Klay before where they've been a soft-spoken type dude and they like, oh, I got ran over. You know what I'm saying? Versus when they was being the Future, they feel like they got more of what they wanted from a woman. But
the thing is, okay.
I don't know.
And when we talked about that, I spoke on balance.
Okay.
The thing is, it's important to have a balance, right? You can be a gentleman, right? But not a nice guy. Because nice guys always finish last, right? Be a gentleman, but don't be a nice guy. You have to have a little flair about yourself. Women don't want a fucking cardboard box. You just boring as a cardboard box. If you just doing a routine whoop-de-whoop, you don't never bring her no flowers or nothing like that, or you don't never surprise her. Hey, we finna do this. Goddamn, what's happening? Let's go here. Women want some spontaneous, right? It's a part of their nature that wants spontaneous. So if you're a man just strictly routine, and you're not hitting her with no spontaneous, and you ain't doing nothing that's spontaneous, that's when you get put in that box of, oh, this guy is boring. So if you're a routine, disciplined man, that's cool. Stay routine, stay disciplined. But if you have a woman in your life, you have to remember that you have to be some sort of spontaneous. There has to be a balance. Because if you just so routine and disciplined and you just do things in this nature and doing like that, it's gonna bore her. Women like excitement, okay? So add a little mixture to that, right? Boom, throw some flowers in there sometimes, or boom, book this and book that, and she not know. They like surprises, okay? That's the game. Soak it up.
Alrighty, next. G Herbo's fiance, Taina. G Herbo just proposed to his fiance Taina.
Yeah.
And in one of his interviews, he said that the reason why he proposed to her was because she did things for him that he did not see his mother do for his dad. So the question is for y'all, talk amongst yourselves and us. Are there things that you feel like, or that I feel like,
right,
that our significant others have done for us that our parents didn't do for each other?
You know what? When you say that, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I feel like some people. So this is what I feel.
Okay.
I feel like some people lack certain things from their parents,
Mm-hmm.
right? And what they lack from their parents, I feel like they seek in their spouses in relationships. But for us, we discussed this, and it's like there's things that our parents that we really like that we seek out of our partners,
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
Because when you said that you date men of a certain caliber, it's because your dad was a certain man and you liked that part of your dad, right? And I like certain things about mom, right? And that's what I seek in, and that's a part of what I seek in women, right? Not the
Yeah,
whole
I
thing
think
I
that you
seek,
see.
but
Yeah,
there's things that we liked out of our parents that we seek in our partners, but it's not the fact that we we we're feeling like, oh, since my mother didn't do this, I want my partner to do this.
yeah,
No, it's not like that for us. Or since your father didn't do that, then you want your partner to do that. That's not that's not how it is for us. We were just like, oh, those qualities are pretty cool. Let's put those on our list, right? But I think for in G Herbo's instance, there might have been some motherly characteristics that we consider as in motherly, something that we was consider motherly that his mother might not have done, that he was yearning for, that he got out of his now fiance.
yeah. I feel like our parents were like very traditional as far as like woman do this, the man do this. Even though they didn't get married, they definitely co-parented still
They
in a
co-parented
very
traditionally.
traditional way. Like they
Swear.
still have their gender roles in the co-parenting relationship. My dad is still like the
Disciplinary.
disciplinarian. My mom is definitely the caring person. You know what I'm saying? Just like even when we was younger, if people's like my mom would is the one who made sure we got picked up from school and stuff like that, dropped off to school. But if y'all saw my dad, and everybody know if you went to school with us when we were younger, if y'all saw Big Steve, then y'all knew something was happening. Some disciplinary was happening.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My dad's not there just coming to get us from school, because I mean my mama don't need my dad to do that either. And my dad was at work. You know what I'm saying?
He like
But
overtime.
if my dad is there,
After school,
if my dad is there picking us up from school, it's something going on.
disciplinary, right?
Somebody's getting cussed out. Somebody getting disciplined. Something's happening. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because everybody always saw
Some boundaries need to be established.
Big Steve came from work. So Big Steve
Right.
had on his work clothes too. And he's not
Fucking
a
around.
little nigga either.
He's not fucking around.
He's not coming in like he looks like he about that business. Cause he really be in there about that business. So like, yeah, I feel like with our relationships, or what I'll say with my relationship, I definitely I think that masculinity, probably what I seen my dad do and things like that, probably what I think that's what masculine is to me. Some of the things that he does, like, you know what I'm saying, he's been a contractor for my whole life, you know. So I never have an issue with him fixing things. I can ask him for whatever I want, and he gonna go up like, can I want this.
Yeah.
He gonna go get it. You know what I'm saying? He understands me as a woman, as far as I gotta get my hair done, nails done, stuff like that. He'll give me money to do that. You know what I'm saying? He has no issue with giving his woman money to look good. You know what I'm saying? Or to do things in the house, even just like
sure.
hygiene and stuff like that.
No,
He's does never had a problem with just pulling out his car, pulling out his wallet, and just giving money for anything like that. He understands what it means to be a black woman. You know what I'm saying? He might have he gonna have an extra scarf. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like I'll say that like it's definitely. Then my mom's very feminine as well. Like she gets her hair done all the time. She gets her nails done. She keeps herself up. And that matters in society, the way you look and things like that, how you present yourself. And I think that's why a lot of people love my mom as well. She's a good person and stuff like that, but she always presents herself well as well. So that on top of her personality is what gets her far every time. And she's never been like fired from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Because she's always presented herself great. So I definitely feel like we with us, it wouldn't be like G Herbo, whereas we wouldn't want to date somebody that's similar to our parents because our
But
parents are very traditional, and I think we understand the good parts, and we understand the pros of being traditional. So I don't think we would sway away from it.
I think that so one thing is that I realize is as I've gotten older and talked to more people, the broken homes thing in our community, in the black community per se, it's a real thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how certain people feel, right? And I'm not just gonna make it seem like when our parents broke up, everything was peaches and cream. They had a static point where they were figuring it out and they were trying to. The baby mama drama was real. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It was a point in time to where I was a youngster. I was wise beyond my years. People has always told me this.
Who told you that?
Don't be a capper. But people always told me I was wise beyond my years, and if you got ears, you know what I'm saying. But um, that was a baby mama drama period where she was doing that stuff and things as well. But at the same time, as they got older and they matured, so did their parenting. Their parenting matured with them, and with the traditional values that they had, it just made it a little bit easier for them to parent, right? Together. So I think that some people lack that, right? There's some
Mm-hmm.
parenting that lacks that as people get older, and I think it's super important that you have that balance of the male role and the female role when it comes to parenting because it helps the children out, right? And it probably helped us even more because we was a woman and we was a man growing up, young man, young woman growing up. So it helped that you saw a feminine woman and I saw a masculine man, and that they were present. You know what I'm saying? You can be there and not be present. You know what I'm saying? Some people think that since somebody's there that they're present. No, that's a difference, right? When you're present, you're actually talking to your kids. You're actually figuring out your children. Like our parents, since we was younger, be knowing us, and our dad still to this day he study us. This shit that dad do, it be like Steve be doing this and Earl be doing this, and he be, bro, swear it be on point because I do move my hands, but my dad moves his hands too. But sometimes when it comes to me, I think it just be funny for him to see his miniature self in play. But some people didn't have that traditional style of growing up and parenting. So sometimes the mother had to do a little bit more, or the mother was more leaning on the masculine. They didn't get that feminine side of their mother as maybe a G Herbo did. I don't really know per se, but that could be the feminine things that he's talking about from his girlfriend that he doesn't get from his mother, or that he didn't get from his mother per
His
se.
mom didn't get from his dad.
No.
He said his dad didn't get it from his mom.
Yeah, but I'm saying his dad didn't get from his mother, but I'm saying like if they were separated or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying in our case because our parents were separated. I'm talking about parents that
Mm-hmm.
was separated because I'm not sure what his parents was.
Okay.
But I'm saying in our case where our parents were separated, some people don't get that feminine and masculine combination because sometimes the dad is in his feelings and they don't co-parent on that traditional masculine and that traditional feminine, and a woman feels more voids of masculine, and then
Okay.
yeah,
I see what you're saying.
see what I'm saying? Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So many women in the industry have been talking about how on Valentine's Day, you know, well, actually before Valentine's Day, they've posted things about their significant others cheating and stuff like that. And then on Valentine's Day, they posted like, "Oh, we love blah blah blah." So our question is, do you think that relationships should be private, or is it okay to post things for clout every once in a while when you're a celebrity? You want to go first? Or you want to go first?
So, my whole thing is when a person gets paid for clout, right? Not every celebrity gets paid for clout.
That's true.
But there are celebrities that have gotten their stardom, their A, B, or C class, even D class celebrity off of clout. And a lot of times when you get your celebrity off of clout, you want to stay relevant. So to keep yourself relevant, what do you have to do? You have to do a lot of things and expose some things that might not be morally correct, but it don't matter because that's how you got your fame anyway. You didn't start with morals, so why the frick would you end with morals? You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. We got to think sometimes, who is this person that's on our screen and how did they get to being on our screen so popularly? If it was because they shared some personal stuff, why would they stop now?
Right. I feel like relationships just in general will last longer if it's private. Like if nobody knows what y'all got going on. A lot of people I always hear, which I think is so funny to me, like they always be like, my grandparents have been together for 60 years and they've never had issues. It's like they didn't tell you what they went through, but they definitely have issues because they both human beings.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Who started off actually young and they grew that like at least however many decades they've been together. So they have their ups and downs. There's things that your grandpa might have did to your grandma or vice versa that they don't want to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't want to skew your vision of who they are. So they didn't tell you that. But thinking that your grandparents went through nothing and they're just happily successful, that's why a lot of y'all are single right now, because y'all be like, well, if the person you get in a relationship with, they do something that you don't like, you be like, well, my grandpa never did that to my grandma, so I'm gonna leave. And then on top of that, y'all not in the same place either. You 30 trying to date versus them 15 dating. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things is not the same. Your brain isn't even the same at those two times of your life. So it's like, why would you even think that? But in general, to answer their question, like I said in the beginning, if you want your relationship to last, you're gonna have to make it private. When you start telling everybody what y'all going through and all that, it's only because everybody has their own perception of what's going on. Everybody has had different ways of thinking. So you can tell somebody about a thing that happened and they can absorb it 10 different ways. If it's 10 different people, it's going to be absorbed 10 different ways. Even I always give this example. Me and my brother grew up in the same household. We lived in the same room for a long time when we was younger. Till then, we probably got like, 10, 11, probably like 9, 10, 11, probably 9 or 10 when we got our... When we got our own, we got our own spaces. Yeah. We still in the same house. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And we two totally different people. If you say something to me and give me,
we ain't totally different, but we different.
But I'm saying if you give me a way, not a right, something that happened, you tell Steven, we're gonna give you two different. We might give you two different ways of thinking. Even though we grew up the exact same way with the exact same parents, with the exact same everything. We went to the exact same schools,
and we have some of college, and we have some of the same experiences,
and we got similar friends. So it's like,
for sure,
we still gonna answer things differently. So you think that 10 different people who watching or viewing something is not gonna have 10 different ways of thinking? That's crazy. So in order to avoid that, you should just not fucking post your fucking relationship.
Yeah. I think,
and if you want to post your relationship, just make sure you know that the reason why you shouldn't care is because those people didn't go through the same thing you went through to get to where you at right now. So you shouldn't care. If they went through the same exact thing you went through and then they had a different thinking, then maybe your thinking was off, but that's not the case. So you shouldn't care. But if you don't want nobody to say nothing, if you don't want no opinions, don't post this shit.
Yeah, we need to go back to that, right? Go back to keeping personal, right? I think people like get so involved in this social media, and I've heard women say that before too. Oh, if you don't post her or something like that, you're hiding her. It'd be something like that. It'd be like, if you don't post her, you hiding her. I'm like, I don't think that's true. I just think that you keep it personal. Like, I'm not saying that you don't post your woman at all, right? But that shouldn't be the basis of your social media. I don't think that you should be just relationship. Now, when you're relationship bombing, then I start to thinking like, is everything okay? Or is that just that might be a part of your image and what you want to push. So if you pushing it like that, I'm like, oh, okay, they just trying to this is part of their marketing for something else, right? So some people might do that as part of their marketing for something else, and I understand that. But all of us, if it's not a part of your marketing for something else, don't do it, because you're opening, especially if you love that person. If you really love that person for real, don't be posting all y'all personals on the social media. Like when we was just talking, we was just talking to somebody and they was like, hey, we're talking to a therapist. They was like, look, make sure you journal, make sure you take breathing work, do things like that, right? Do breathing work, do journals, or talk to a trusted source. And if you can't talk to a trusted source, go get you some therapy about it. But you shouldn't be posting it on social media because everybody should not know everything. Like I say, to people here and there, I don't say it all the time, but y'all finna hear it. You feel me? If you don't know nothing, every conversation ain't for every year. You know what I'm saying? So don't bring everything to everybody because everybody shouldn't know everything about you and what's going on. Some things should be to you. In a relationship, it's something that should be to you and it shouldn't be shared with everybody, especially your little nuances. Especially if you like somebody, and you're gonna be there with them, don't be sharing everything that y'all going through because now people finna judge y'all and you finna get mad.
And there, yeah. Okay, that's
She's so silly.
Real Housewives of Potomac star Wendy Osefo and her husband Eddie Osefo have been indicted for insurance fraud charges. In the lawsuits, prosecutors claim that they frequently return things to luxury stores, and they have over 67 stored credit cards. My question is, do you think social media and having an image, is to blame for something like this, or you think it might be something else?
Yes, because fame is a hell of a drug.
I definitely feel like
once you get a hit, you don't want to quit.
It's definitely image based, and you know why I say that is because all of the credit cards that they were talking about were stored credit cards to high-end retailers. So that means that you're trying to keep up with the image. If they were, let's say some of them credit cards was Target. You know what I'm saying? Target, Walmart
or something.
It's like, okay, I'm trying to keep food on my table for me and my kids. Nah, it's straight Louis Vuitton, you know what I'm saying, Dolce & Gabbana, whatever. That's because you're trying to keep an image up. It's not, you know what I'm saying, you're not scraping money together to feed your family. You're scraping money together to pay for Louis Vuitton. And then you're taking things, you're buying things, taking things back.
Cause you know why? Because now that they're on that platform, more people are seeing them. They're invited to more, so now they want to keep that wardrobe up.
Yeah, and so the fraud charges is saying that they was buying things. Well, no, they had a break in, and when you have a break in, you're supposed to tell your insurance company everything that the person stole. So what the insurance company saying is, y'all put shit on there that y'all had 3 weeks after that I see on y'all's Instagram 3 weeks after, or y'all's whatever. Y'all had possession of this stuff 3 weeks after it was stolen. So was it really stolen? Or did y'all trying to get a check for it? And then, you know what I'm saying, it's the thing of the, what's it called? When people have this like preconceived notion of who you are based off your race. Yeah, so they have that because they're Nigerian. They're like they're scamming insurance companies like Nigerian people do, which is crazy to me. But
not all of them.
That's crazy.
Some of them.
But my thing is, yeah, this is obviously for clout and an image, and it's very sad. But at the end of the day, they're on a reality show. You know what I'm saying? This is why I say.
And she was one of the newer members, right?
She been on there for a while.
Only like 3 years. That's still newish.
3, 4. She been on there for a minute now. But I will say this. This is why it's a lot of people. I'm a Real Housewives of Potomac fan. I'm a Real Housewives fan regardless. Every week I was a Real Housewives in my shit, except for a couple of them. Miami, I don't do that. But Dallas, no. But other ones, yeah, I fuck with. But I'll say this. The clout is a hell of a drug on the motherfuckers. A lot of people didn't went to jail for the clout, for the money, for everything. And I'll say also, y'all was talking shit about Robin. I fuck with Robin because Robin was being real with her money. Like
Robin?
Yeah, like we ain't got that much money. You know what I'm saying?
Real. He that big of a deal. He a coach, and but it's like you feel me?
Going from you gonna scam? It's just saying that she ain't got it. You rather look like you got it than have it.
They said fuck it.
Some other shit.
But when you say that again, what you just said, the last thing you said, you rather what?
Show like
You
I'd rather be real with my shit
no,
and
you
not put
said
my family in danger than motherfucking acting like we got much money that we don't got
you said
for
acting
the clout.
like you don't have as much as you got for the clout. Currently in today's society, that is a plague. Acting like you have what you don't have. Because there's a lot of people in prominent positions that people place on these pedestals that don't have what they have, and so everybody is in a rat race to be their greatest self or their best self, and they're looking up to people who not even doing that in themselves. So now they're looking up to people who trying to keep up an image, and a lot of these people are trying to keep up an image. You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why a lot of people do that, is because celebrities like this, in this
Yeah.
case, are doing it. So that's why they do it, because subconsciously they don't even realize that they're trying to live to the same status as this person. And a lot of people have that same kind of moral character to where they would do whatever it takes to live to this status instead of grinding, hustling to get there.
Yeah. U.S. stocks took a plummet this year, and it was due to this company called is it
Anthropic.
Anthropic, and they make AI services, and they're making the AI services for legal, sales, finance, and a lot of they're saying a lot of those jobs are going to go to AI, which are actually what a lot of people do in traditional software as a service companies.
Yeah.
So my question is AI detrimental now, or is it something that's inevitable? I mean, I guess it's inevitable, but is it detrimental? And also, do you think the market will recover?
To answer the last thing first, the market is always going to recover. If we look at historical data, the market recovers, and you got to think there's a lot of wealthy people in the market, so the market can only
That's
stay
what I'm
down
saying.
for
That's what
so
I was going to
long.
say.
You know what I'm saying? It can only stay down for so long. But to go back to the anthropic thing and artificial intelligence is the current wave, not the next wave. So the next wave may be something else. It may be quantitative computing or something, quantitative thinking, or what do they call it? Quantitative computing or something. That might be the next wave, but I'm not sure. But artificial intelligence is here. It's now. We didn't have it for a while. Siri is a part of artificial intelligence. If you had a chat bot for any, usually your insurance companies or your banks, they usually had chat bots where, hey, send a chat and I'll answer with a response. And then if they can't answer in that response, then they send you to an agent. So artificial intelligence has been here for a while, but this wave of artificial intelligence, like Gen AI and things of that nature, it's the current. So I'll say this: with every solution comes a problem, right? So the solution is that it makes a lot of processes simpler. It takes the work away from doing things, right? So you don't have to use as much manpower to create solutions. But the thing with that is that means less people are going to be employed. But I think one thing that people are forgetting is you have to have someone to prompt that, right? You need someone to have to tell the artificial intelligence what to do. There has to still be some level of human interaction and intervention to create checks and balances. So I would say to everybody out there, if you're looking at artificial intelligence, start using it in your daily life. It can be something simple as, hey, create a budget based off of this much money in these expenses and this income and these expenses. Create a budget off of that. Use artificial intelligence for that. If you have a business, maybe you might want to use artificial intelligence for that. If you have ideas that you have, hey, simplify these ideas. One way I use it is my company has a partnership with Microsoft, and then we have Microsoft Copilot. So we bought a license, and sometimes, like I may be in my meeting with my
Mm-hmm.
manager, and then we might have certain things. He like, hey, create send these emails to this person, this person, this person, and I might create like, okay, you want me to send an email and it should have this in it and it should have that in it, and then I will go to artificial intelligence Copilot, is one we use, and I'd be like, hey, create me an email based off of this, and that, include this, and create it from a professional with 10 years of experience in IT and responding to emails or something like that. So I believe we have to use it as a tool. But yes, there will be people jobs that get replaced with it, but you won't get replaced if you're the person that can use it.
Yeah, I feel like AI is definitely detrimental to like jobs that are like sedentary where you don't have to do a lot of thinking and stuff like that. It could be, I mean, accountants and finance people already knew that this was coming because they use QuickBooks. They use these
Right.
they
Yeah.
use these applications already that already can do everything that you need them to do. I don't think that AI is going to take away as many jobs as we think, only because to use AI stuff is expensive because you have to have the people who know how to do it, and
you have
it's
to have
not
the
that
resources.
many. Right. Then you have to have the apps that'll do it, and that's expensive for businesses to use.
True.
So a lot of companies are not going to adapt all the AI stuff that they can that early anyways. So you got so many businesses out here that's going to need somebody to work their legacy system maybe until they get to a point where they have to go to their next AI thing. Sometimes they might ask you as a person who's been in it and done the actual work to figure out what do we need to do to get to AI, then you'll be needed for that. There's other things outside of that you're going to be needed for. And like I said, majority of the businesses are not going to AI. A lot of companies, some companies still use Excel and stuff for applications that they have that are actually cheap that they can use for the tasks that they do every day. And so I don't think so. You probably gonna have to pivot companies. So like if you want to work for Google and you don't know AI, it's probably not gonna happen no more. You're probably not gonna be able to do that no more. But there's other companies that are smaller
Legacy
that you can work with.
yeah.
And they'll pay you what you need to be paid if you have the knowledge that you're supposed to have. So make sure that you just know what's going on with AI in your own industry, and then make sure that you're understanding the applications that are going to be used when people like you are their jobs are getting taken. So if there's if it's an AI application that's about to take your job, you need to know that AI application. That'll make you better off in the job realm, you know what I'm saying, than just not knowing anything. So you're just going to have to do a little bit more education for yourself. You're going to have to go into find the companies that still use legacy systems and systems that are not up to date, and
thrive in that space.
And then when it's time to move on, you have to move on. But we're not living in a world where you can stay somewhere for 20 years no more. It's not the case. And they've been telling us this for years.
And if you do, you have to do a lot of pivoting. If you stay in there for 20 years, you have to pivot this way after 2-3 years, pivot this way after 2 or 3 years. So if you're not willing to pivot and shape shift after this year,
it's gonna be a problem.
It's gonna be a struggle.
Nobody should be coming into the job market thinking they're gonna be somewhere for 20 years. It's not the case no more. And if you older, even if you older in the field, like, you not finna stay at these companies for that long no more.
And if you stand at these companies, you're not staying in that position for 20 years.
Facts.
It's over. They're gonna change your position every 2, 3, and if not 2, 3, 5 years, it'd be the max you have in that position. Other than that, we got a new position for you. And if you like, nah, well, then your ass gonna be grass.
Yeah, like these the millennials I see like now in my company and everything are the ones who are the CEOs and stuff like that. So they ain't gonna shy away from AI. Like at the end of the day, even if they not really going deep into it and they like, oh, we going into AI,
right?
They're going to, you know what I'm saying, they're going to adapt to it. They're going to talk about it because, the owners, they know that AI is coming. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
And we don't need to be behind on nothing that
that's beneficial
the cybersecurity space got going on, and that's big in cybersecurity. So in order to keep your systems and everything secured, which is the money, which is your clients' retention and all that, then you're gonna have to go into some type of AI or learn about AI. And you already been using it anyways. It's not that big of a deal, and it makes look like mundane tasks easier. You gonna have to come off the dome with a lot of your ideas no more. You can be like, Chad, give me a couple ideas. You know what I'm saying? And you can make things, you can create things faster. it ain't gonna take you 1,000 years no more. And the fact that millennials had like we had to use our brains before AI, now we get to use AI. We can make AI twerk, like do wherever the fuck we can make AI do wherever the fuck we want it to do.
We can make it move
because we know how to talk to computers and stuff like that. We was coding when we was fucking 10 years old, like you know what I'm saying, putting people in certain orders and you know what I'm saying, socializing and stuff like that. So we ready. So you know what I'm saying? No, I think we good. You just gonna have to pivot and you're gonna have to go legacy if you don't want to change. And that's okay. It's a lot of legacy systems out here.
Sure.
And this is SawCast.
It's a SawCast. Like, share, subscribe.
Share, subscribe, y'all. Thank you guys for watching. And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.